Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night September 25, 25. Listen to the full version on the official dinarreport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps, Intel only. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It's Thursday, September 25th and you're listening the big call. Thanks for tuning in, wherever you're located, all around this globe. Glad that you're here. Looking forward to our call tonight. Alright, let's get into the Intel segment for tonight, and I'm going to say this is amazing. Okay, we have some information that we got a little while ago that was suggesting that President Trump had made a little short video clip announcement saying that American citizens would all be very happy at the end of this month. Now, I heard him say something like that about US citizens, or American citizens would be very happy soon. And I think he was referring to by the end of this month, which is what we've been hearing, right? We've been hearing by the end of this month. We heard we could get some action over this weekend. We've had a couple of real high-up sources in our number one bank and in redemption centers. From our contact from Treasury, that's saying, be prepared for something to start for us. And I'm taking that to mean notifications. By the end of this week, I'm going to say weekend, not, Saturday. Sunday is the weekend, and maybe we do get something over the weekend. Maybe we start with notifications buyer on the weekend, but we have heard that we should get everything, and we're looking for buyer before the end of this month. Well, the month end is Tuesday. That's the 30th of September. The 1st of October is Wednesday. So we are closing in on it even as we speak, with this being Thursday, the 25th. So let's look at it this way. We're almost to the end, and let's talk about what else we have heard that is really interesting. Two other things that I think are very important in terms of what we're waiting for. We heard that our quantum accounts, and these are the accounts you remember that we access with our quantum card that will be issued to us at the redemption center. Okay, remember what we should have in those quantum accounts that would be loaded up this Sunday night over the weekend. Let's call it Sunday evening to Sunday night. We're supposed to have our Doge payments in there, our R&R restitution and reconciliation allowance in there. And we're supposed to have our tariff dividends in that account. Now they're calling ZIM holders sovereigns. They know pretty much who the ZIM holders are, or who the sovereigns are, and I'm sure that they have set aside enough money for the ZIM to be redeemed. Now that money, essentially is set aside, but it's not in our quantum account, yet, because we have to bring this into the redemption center to redeem it, as well as the rest of our currencies. Dinar, Dong, Rupiah, Afghani, and all the other currencies that are going up in value that many of us have, like the Venezuelan Bolivar is another good one. So when we do our exchange and our redemption of ZIM at the redemption centers, that total will go into our quantum account. Then we move what we need for 60 to 90 days. I've heard 60, I've heard 90. I'm going to say 60 to 90 days. Move what we think we need into our primary Wells Fargo account. And then if we set up such accounts, we can move some of that money in a few days later, but making that first deposit, if you will, into our primary bank account with Wells. We do that based on what we anticipate we need for the first 60 to 90 days. Now, why that period of time we're under an NDA for 60 to 90 days? They want to see how we utilize it, how we spend it, make sure it's going to the proper causes and not to some nefarious group. Okay, that's why they're watching us, to see how that goes. And then after 60 days, maybe 90, but 60 to 90 days after that, we should be able to move as much as we want into our primary Wells account. And you can also attach other banks to your quantum card. Doesn't have to be only Wells. I'm going to attach one or two other banks to that quantum account, so I can move funds into those other banks. Okay, alright, that's one little thing that we're looking for to occur. I don't think we will see until we go in for our exchange, but it will take place Sunday night. Alright, let's see the other thing. Alright, I'm going to talk about this a second. That's a really big deal though, to get those accounts hydrated with money from Doge, from R&R, also from tariff dividends. That is huge. And the tariff dividends we're talking about, I believe, is referring to an account in the Treasury that was $150 trillion balance that we had to work with for that. Now that may include more than just tariff dividends. I would think it would be, but it was 150 trillion, really hard for him to say it at least twice. I mentioned on the call I think it was last Tuesday and the previous Thursday, maybe. So that's a huge balance to work with to start with. Alright, here's the other thing that I was looking for. We understand from a source that we have which is working with the Treasury. That is saying, remember, I told you guys for at least a month now that I'm hearing that Nasara and Gesera will begin implementation on October 1st, which is Wednesday. Okay, a week from yesterday, this coming Wednesday is October 1st. Now here's the thing I heard today, that with Nasara and Gesera, which is the Global Economic Security and Recovery Act, that we would get it rolled out, meaning Nasara for the US. Nasara rolled out from October 1st through the end of the year, which is December 31st, so 3 months. We should have everything in Nasara at least announced and rolled out to where we understand what it includes. And I have heard from a source which is working with the Treasury that he believes that okay, it's called, not the VAP, that's your term for value-added tax, but our consumption tax would start on October 1st. Now, why did that happen on October 1st? I have another source that's talking about it, starting in his opinion, January 1st. I like the concept of October 1st for one reason, because if we bring out Nasara, our new USN currency, right, digital and the physical money folding money around October 1st, are we essentially letting the USA Inc. go in favor of the restored republic? To start on October 1st, which remember, is the start of the US, fiscal, not physical, fiscal year starts October 1st. But would you want to start the new year with a new system, with a new money, with Nasara? I would think so. Which Nasara includes the consumption tax, which is something that takes away all the other taxes, income taxes, property taxes, real estate, all those things. It should eliminate all of those in favor of a tax around 14 or 50% on new items. And the tax is inboarded, meaning included in the price of goods, around 14 or 15% on new items. And the cap is inboarded, meaning included in the price of goods. Inboarded in goods that you buy does not include anything that's used homes, used furniture, used whatever that you buy would not have that tax included. Should not be on food, like groceries. It may still be on restaurant checks. However, I'm not sure that, because that sometimes is considered a service. Remember the old days when a service was not to be taxed? Remember only a product but not a service? Well, they changed that on us years ago. So I don't know how they're going to treat restaurant food. Okay, restaurant food and drink. I'm not sure. Whatever it is, we'll be able to afford. It doesn't really matter. But if Nasara, Gesera does kick off on Wednesday, October 1st, we could just start with the consumption tax starting on that day. And I don't know, this is just a theory that I have because of the idea of starting off with a restored republic, without the old system. And what about this continuing resolution concept to continue the government? Why don't we just let the government shut down at the end of this month, this fiscal year, and start back up on October 1st with the restored republic, which you guys got to realize. I told you guys this on Tuesdays. Our new US Treasury has gazillions and gazillions of dollars, new dollars USN already. I mean, guys, you have no idea how much currency has been seized. Homes have been seized. Other items have been seized. Bonds have been seized. People that have tried to take advantage in game system but doing it illegally, have been picked up and arrested, and their stuff has been seized. It is now property of your new US Treasury. I mean, it's loaded for bear, and I'm excited about where we're going now. What does that mean for our notifications? Could we get notified over the weekend and start Monday or Tuesday? I don't know, I mean, we're supposed to be happy, or I'm not trying to move this out. Guys, you know me, I don't do that. But is it possible we get notified around Monday or Tuesday and begin exchanges on the 1st of October in the new system, using the USN and the restored republic in Nasara? I don't know. It's only a thought. It's just a theory. I don't know that. Nobody's telling me that yet, so we'll see how that goes. We're looking really good, a week away, or less than a week. Even if it does start October 1st, we think it's going to start for us in some form. Which should be, notifications by the end of this month, maybe by the weekend. You don't know, it's not 100% clearer. We're hearing things that say weekend, end of the month. Either way, it's only couple days apart. So I'm excited. That's what I want to bring to you guys tonight. And let's say, first of all, if anybody you're reading puts down the concept of redemption centers, don't read it. It's just a lie. It's not true. Redemption centers are alive and well. We know a dozen people that are the leaders of redemption centers. Some of them are over 6 or 7. Some of them are over 1. It just depends, but we just know. We just know the people that are the heads of the leaders, and a lot of the people that are going there, so all of that is absolutely real. They're ready for us. They're all trained up and ready for us to go there. Alright, so that's what I want to do tonight. I want to say thank you to everybody that supports the big call in terms of GCK and Doug and Pastor Scott and Jeannie and the satellite team. Thank you. Obviously Sue for doing these teachings, bringing these cool segments and just being the light of the big call, and Bob, wow. What a treat in this segment about energy and mitochondria and about just everything. So thank you Big Call Universe for listening and being part of this call for 14 years. Let's see what happens over the weekend. See what we have by Tuesday, which is the last day this month, the 30th, 5 days from now. Okay, meanwhile, I look forward to what could be a really strong weekend, or it could be a great end of the month. She does okay? Could be both. Well, thanks everybody for listening again. Appreciate it. Let's see what happens, and we'll more than likely talk to you Tuesday. Alright, have a great weekend, everybody. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: DinarRecaps.com.